Welcome to the episode of TH and TC Experience. I am your co-host, TC, and he puts the in the man, the myth, the legend, TH, baby. Welcome back, baby.
Thank you. I need Batista's pyro going on behind me
Just
for a proper entrance. So you do the machine guns, and then you wait, and then one more right at the end. Also, I need to be wearing like a solid white turtleneck sweater and just like the coolest sunglasses you've ever seen in your life.
And rip your jeans every time you get in a ring.
Exactly. Hey, look, Batista had those fits, man.
It's crazy, man. I don't know how his jeans are that tight. He was like 42 in that.
Yeah, well, he might have been the most like stylish wrestler ever.
Hey, pimping ain't easy, baby. Pimping ain't
It really
easy.
ain't. It really ain't. And he also kind of ended up being the best actor or wrestler turned actor I think we've ever seen.
Disagree on that one. John Cena is by far the best actor.
But
Did you watch Peacemaker? Did you watch that?
What's that?
You watched the TV show Peacemaker?
I have not.
So good. It's so fucking good.
I've checked that out because, like, to me, The Rock and John Cena are very similar with like their acting range. They're actors and they're fine at it, but like I don't know, Batista I think he takes it to a different level.
Because of Drax?
Not just Drax. I mean, he's done all kinds of random stuff.
Name 4 movies.
There was that one where it's like the cabin in the woods or on the hill or something like that, where it's like, I don't know, it was weird.
What was that Amazon movie he did? That zombie movie he did? What was that one?
I've seen that one. I know what you're talking about, where they're like in the hospital or something.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty good in that one. And then, like Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously.
You can't count that. Can't count that.
All right, I'm not counting that. He's done other stuff, man. But
exactly.
All right, fine. We won't get into the argument of the best wrestler turned actor, but I think Batista's at the top of the list.
Scorecard right here. TC. First point of the night. First point of the night, baby.
You know what? You got to win something sometime, I guess. So.
Oh man.
But so we didn't have an episode last week, so sorry to all of you that were anticipating it. I was out of town. I was down in Daytona. Ended up hanging out there till Monday, or actually till Tuesday because it rained on Sunday. So yeah, been a little bit of a fun week, but a busy week.
Just living the dream, huh?
Pretty much.
I've been here just holding down the fort, just waiting for the host to come back to the little podcast, just waiting around.
I don't even know what to do with that.
Just ride it out, baby. Just ride it out.
But as we're recording this at 7:00 on a Friday, we're only like what? I'm gonna do some math in my head. Like I know math's not your strong suit. I think we're like 9 hours away. I think we're like 9 hours away from Elimination Chamber starting.
Well, the pre-show starts at 3 a.m. This tomorrow morning.
Okay, so like 8 hours away then.
Yeah, I watched they had a Elimination Chamber press conference this afternoon. Well, yesterday I missed that, and I watched a little bit of it today. And dude, the pop Rhea Ripley is getting in Australia. I know it's her home country, but it's like
she's a freaking hero, man.
I'm just saying, it's crazy, man.
Apparently,
the Nia Jax.
Her and Nia are supposed to main event. Apparently.
I mean, I don't think they can main event an Elimination Chamber with a women's world title match. It would make sense though, because Nia was actually born in Australia?
Yeah, I saw something about that. I didn't
know
that, but I mean that's cool. I just hope she doesn't, break Rhea Ripley's nose before WrestleMania or something.
I mean, so it did for Becky.
That's true. Did you see? It was a video, I think, from a house show this past weekend where she did like the Yokozuna sit on Chelsea Green.
Dude, I don't like that spot at all. I think that move, because if you mess up one time, you're crushing someone's chest. Like imagine this, right? I have you in the corner of the ring, right? And I go up there and I do a Yokozuna squash on you. bro, you're not get like your chest is caved in. It's done.
And like for somebody that had a better reputation of taking care of their opponents in the ring, I would trust them. But Nia Jax is legitimately Nia Jax. Okay, so you know how like Bret Hart hates Goldberg because he kicked him in the head and ended his career.
Yeah.
And anytime he gets the opportunity to trash him, he does.
Yeah, just buries him.
I feel like Nia Jax is kind of like the female Goldberg. She just hurts people.
Well, I wouldn't say the female Goldberg because Goldberg hasn't. I mean, the Undertaker match he had at the Saudi show. That dude,
We don't talk about that.
You have to though, man. I mean, like Undertaker didn't sell nothing that night until he got dropped on his head.
Yeah,
it was like a brain buster.
Listen. When the Brothers of Destruction took on DX at the whatever crown jewel event in 2018, that to me said we've gone too far with this. We need to stop.
Bro, the fact that Triple H tore his quad again in that match,
and here's the bad part, because like Shawn Michaels, one of the few wrestlers of all time that retired and had stayed retired for, at that point, 8 years. And then they just throw this big ass check at him like, hey, come wrestle in Saudi Arabia. And the sad part is he was actually decent in that match after having not wrestled for 8 years. It was everybody else that screwed it up.
All I'm saying is Shawn Michaels is now the main game Johnny Manziel when it comes to that money, baby. He's
I get it. By the way, did you see that the Undertaker was at like a Saudi like soccer tournament recently, and all he did was like present the trophy? But exactly, they probably cut him like a $3 million check just to do that. Like, hell yeah, I'll come over there and do whatever you want me to do. But like, man, they just have like they're just throwing money at everything. It seems like.
I mean, if you look at it now, the wrestling boom is officially like finally hit the peak. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's just like 2004, like that. 2004, 2003, when Rock wrestled Hulk Hogan.
That was 03.
That was the secondary peak, and then when I think it was 2009. 09 or 08. It was when Sean faced Cena. It was WrestleMania 23, so it couldn't be that long. It could have been like 2000.
That was 07.
07. Well, that's close. This is 09.
I was gonna say it better not be 09. 09 was god awful.
And no, just I remember when John Cena went through. He was in that Mustang, drove through the freaking glass.
Yeah, that was 07. That's a really good point that you bring up, that like we're kind of experiencing this new wrestling boom. And look, everybody always talks about, the Attitude Era was the best era and all that kind of stuff. And yes, 10 million people are watching Raw every single week and Nitro and all that kind of stuff. I've always held this belief. Wrestling, the wrestling was secondary back then. It was all about it was Jerry Springer on steroids. It was about Stone Cold Steve Austin taking out Vince McMahon and whatever funny stuff The Rock was saying, and Kurt Angle blasting people with milk and all that kind of stuff, which was great and very entertaining. But when you look at the actual like in-ring quality of the matches back then, outside of like Kurt Angle and even when Shawn Michaels wasn't hurt, the wrestling quality wasn't all that great. Like, I much prefer today, where you still have good characters and good stories, obviously, but like I feel like the work rate in the wrestling itself is far better.
I agree, but also at that time, you think Ring of Honor was happening. Like, that's where all the real New Japan Pro Wrestling, the beginning of stage of New Japan, Ring of Honor, TNA, like the NWA was still a thing then. Like, I just think that the talent portion of wrestling back then was more like a soap opera. But if you want to look at real wrestling, you look at Ring of Honor, you look at TNA, you look at New Japan Pro Wrestling, like Shinsei Nakamura. Just not Okada. Okada wasn't there yet. It was the Great Muta. Drawing a blank here. Most Japanese wrestlers, and they come from the States. Tanahashi. the kind of the pre I guess westernizing of Japan. I mean, Brock Lesnar went over to New Japan and became their world champion in 2004
Yeah.
because Kurt Angle faced him and he was in 2005. Kurt Angle left WWE in what 2004 or 2005. 6, so it's further down the road than it'd be
Yeah.
probably 07 then. But it was right after he did the NFL thing. He played for the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I mean, just you look at the wrestling in general though, like TNA before the attitude in the middle of the Ruthless Aggression era was kind of the wrestling place to be. Like how they had Toby Keith, you know what I mean? Like
the Ruthless Aggression era featured a lot of good wrestling. I mean, you had the SmackDown 6, you had like good quality wrestling going on, in addition to, the entertainment side of things. But I'm just kind of comparing like today to like the late 90s, like TNA, all that kind of stuff, Ring of Honor, that was all kind of came along in the early 2000s. I'm talking about like wrestling's peak of like late 90s, Monday Night Wars, all that kind of stuff. Like WCW had the cruiserweight division, which was always really good, but their main event scene was, freaking the NWO and Hulk Hogan and all that kind of stuff. Those weren't good matches. It was just big names in those matches. Like I much prefer the quality of in-ring stuff. Like go back a couple weeks ago. Did you see DIY versus Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne?
I did.
That was phenomenal. And that's like something you see on weekly television now. Like that's great. I love that so much.
I think what it is now is that they like AEW to me is the pro wrestling show. It's more about the move sets. It's more about the it's not much storytelling though.
Yeah.
WWE is a storytelling company. That's why they are. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
But I just think that if you're going through a move basis with AEW, you have more moves. There are also a lot more more mishaps. Like when what's his name? Sammy Guevara went against Jeff Hardy and he broke Jeff Hardy's nose doing a 450.
Yeah.
Like there's so many more opportunities for people to get hurt. I mean, you look at half AEW's roster right now; they're all hurt. I mean, Kenny Omega, Adam Cole, MJF, like the main stars of AEW are just going down like flies. I mean, hell, Hangman Adam Page Wednesday night hurt his ankle during that 3-way match or 6-way match. It's just so I think this fact that they turned Adam Page heel, right?
Yep.
Well, they had him with two baby faces. I guess he's in betweener, but then Swerve Strickland, Brian Cage, and the AEW champion Samoa Joe were on the same team. Now Joe's in betweener.
Sure.
But they instead of having him be with RVD and Hook, the baby faces, they had him with Adam Page.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me. Yeah. Like I get he's in betweener, but that's what I'm saying. WWE is a storytelling group.
You bring up a good point, and I do think the fact that AEW exists has pushed WWE to be a better wrestling product, certainly since Triple H has taken over full control of creative, because Vince McMahon, I think, forgot that wrestling existed for a couple of years there and was only focused on covering Baron Corbin and dog food and stuff like that. But now that, again, Triple H is in charge, you still have that element of good storytelling, which the bloodline thing maybe has kind of gone on for too long, but for the most part, WWE does a good job of storytelling and character development. But we're also getting to the point where we're seeing a good mix of solid wrestling in there as well, which again, I think you got to have a balance of both. I love watching AEW for the quality of matches. And, Kenny Omega, when he's healthy, is legitimately maybe one of the best wrestlers on earth, if not, Bryan Danielson. And that's great. But I just think their stories fall a little bit flat and sometimes don't make sense. And things happen. The things that gets me into AEW, things just kind of happen on that show. You know what I mean? Like, at least with WWE, it's not always as fleshed out, but things usually have like a purpose and a setup and stuff like that. You'll tune into a random episode of AEW Dynamite and it's like, hey, Hangman Adam Page is going to fight Samoa Joe for the world championship tonight. And it's like, okay, why is that happening? It just is. You know what I mean? Like, I do like to have some kind of substance to why things are existing within. Here's the thing. You have to suspend your disbelief for wrestling, right? Like, we all know it's predetermined. We all know that they're working together to put on a good match and all that kind of stuff. That's fine and dandy. I want to be fully immersed in this. Give me a story to invest into on why Hangman Adam Page is going to wrestle Samoa Joe for the championship. Don't just make it happen to make it happen.
Yeah. I have 2 points upon that statement. One, Will Ospreay is the best wrestler right now in the industry.
That's fair.
But now, not the best storyteller.
Right.
The best wrestler. If they talk about the best entertainer, it'd be a toss-up between Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and MJF. Because MJF made the product for AEW. Yeah. He was the only person that could tell, that can make you feel the story was actually true. The Adam Cole betrayal, everyone saw that shit coming, which I don't understand why they had that be the main cause. What I would have personally done booking with that, I would have had to be Roderick Strong would have been the devil the whole time.
Right.
I know it's a little cliche or different, but and then have Adam Cole in 2 months from now when he's healthy come back and then do a heel turn, not just sit in the fucking chair and then just go, these are my people. And the Wardlow was a great asset to that whole plan.
Right.
But it was just so obvious. It was so, there you go. You already know, baby. You already know. There it is. But I'm just saying, in a product standpoint, AEW, honest to God, and I hate saying this because I know that there were some good things about the other company. AEW is just a Ring of Honor. The storytelling is not storytelling. You're not getting the actual product. All you're getting is a couple fancy moves, a couple house shows. AEW, honestly, is just a couple house shows. Right. Like, tell me one story last year that wasn't involving Christian and wasn't involving MJF. Tell me one.
Quick aside, I do love the running theme of Christian telling wrestlers about their dead dads. That is funny.
It's dark, man. But also you look at it, but Christian is a bona fide Hall of Famer.
First absolutely, 100%.
And I think Adam Colton is, I'm just gonna call him Edge because he's still the best, as we know, the best world champion ever been.
Yeah.
He's not had a chance to get his teeth sink into anything he actually wants to do to AEW. I don't know if that's just because of his storytelling or whatever, but it's so flip-floppy with Edge. Mm-hmm. And that's not the Edge. Like, when he came out...
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You go.
No, it's all you.
I talk to you. You're the host.
we are co-hosts. Thank you.
No, I'm the co-host, boy. It's called The. But no, I'm just saying, I just don't understand, because AEW, when it first came out, had the best storytelling with Cody Rhodes, the Elite, Kenny Omega. Everyone had a story. It was like primetime Attitude Era. Didn't matter if you were a main eventer, the opener, the mid card. Didn't matter. Everyone had a story. Look at the FTW champion. Last year alone, Hook got the title the first time. He was defending that title storyline. And now it's just a prop. Like, when he faced Samoa Joe, he lost to Samoa Joe, but Samoa didn't become the FTW champion. I thought it was like a hardcore rule. Whenever you face the FTW champion, it's an FTW match. It's not supposed to be like, I don't know, it's just that and then Jungle Boy, right? When the whole thing happened with the fight behind stage, Jungle Boy could be the biggest heel in professional wrestling right now. He showed up in New Japan about a month and a half ago. Haven't heard anything about it since then.
Yeah,
they are dropping the ball on talent.
Well, and I'll say this too, and this also kind of ties into what happened with CM Punk in his time in AEW and why he's no longer there and in WWE now. There is, and I understand what they were going for when they created it. It's a wrestling company made by wrestlers. And yes, Tony Khan's the one footing the bill and technically is the head booker at the end of the day. But for the most part, and Chris Jericho has given a lot of detail on how things work in AEW, it's legitimately the wrestlers basically running things themselves. And that's all fine and dandy to a point, but there is something worth having some kind of structure of command within a company like that. Now, again, WWE is not perfect by any means, and thank God Vince McMahon's out of there, and we're getting better in that regard. But when you do have people that you answer to, and you do have those checks and balances when it comes to your stories, when it comes to what's going to be put on TV, I think that helps your product be better overall. Because when you just have a bunch of wrestlers deciding what they're going to do and not really having a formal structure to it, we get what we have with AEW, where yes, the match quality is fantastic. You can tune in to a random episode of Dynamite and watch, a bunch of 4.5-star matches, maybe even a 5-star snuck in there if Dave Meltzer's feeling happy about it that day. But you don't feel like you're advancing stories very often anymore. And I agree with you. I think they came right out of the gate really strong with doing that. But as time went on, they got farther and farther away from it. And it was just kind of like, hey, we have all these great wrestlers. Just let them go out there and wrestle, and people watch it because of that. And some people do, but I don't think that's enough to keep an audience hooked as opposed to like a story in WWE. It's like, okay, let me tune in next week to see what the next piece of this is going to be. Or let me tune into the pay-per-view to see what the conclusion of this storyline is going to be.
But that's the thing, though. It's the fact that they have Ring of Honor, they have AEW, they have Revolution. Was it Revolution? What's it called? The Saturday night show, AEW.
Collision.
Collision. Thank you. Oh, I got Revolution, but AEW was perfect. I mean, the storytelling between Cody Rhodes got the end of it All Out, the first All Out.
Mm-hmm.
NWA World Champion. The Young Bucks had that incredible 3-way match with Lucha Brothers, or 6-man match with Rey Mysterio, Lucha Brothers, and all that. Incredible match.
You mean All In, the first All In?
Yeah, All In. Excuse me, All In.
Yeah.
I mean, the first All Out was amazing too. They crowned the first AEW champion with Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
But it feels like whenever they find a rhythm with anything they do, there's a controversy. There's complaining talent. There's billing. And it's they let go of what's his name? What's his name? He did the Hollywood Blondes. Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah.
That boy
you mean Lexus King?
Yeah. Hey, he's doing great in NXT though. But I'm just saying, like, the kid had it.
Sure.
They let go of so much talent because they don't want to. They don't want to invest in the talent. They just want them to grow organically.
Well, and here's another problem that AEW ran into really quickly. And again, when it debuted in 2019, it was an alternative product to what.
Perfect.
Yeah, and again, WWE had been the powerhouse for almost 20 years at that point in time since WCW closed down. Yeah, TNA has been around, but it'd never been a threat to WWE or anything like that.
Hold on now.
So,
06 TNA?
Listen, hey, I watched 06 TNA. Good quality product. Was never anywhere close to what WWE was doing.
Get out of here, bro. Get out. Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle's, and then AJ Styles.
From the standpoint of ratings and money they were bringing in, it was nowhere close. Yeah, so I'm going to get this from the standpoint of like a company that could legitimately rival what you're doing, not only from a product standpoint, but from the TV, the money, all that kind of stuff. AEW had that potential early on. Like I said, it was great out of the gate. The wrestling was amazing. The problem that you ran into, and look, Tony Khan has billions of dollars through his family, and I get that. Yeah. He was snatching up everybody that he could, and they quickly realized, oh crap, we only have 2 hours on Wednesday. How are we going to get all these guys in there? So then you created Rampage for Friday nights. Like, okay, well, now you're suddenly having to wait until 10 o'clock on Friday nights to watch the Young Bucks wrestle. And it's like, well, these guys are featured. Shouldn't they be on, a Rampage, or shouldn't they be on Dynamite instead of Rampage? And it's like, okay, then they created Collision for CM Punk for crying out loud.
Dark. That was the first one. AEW Dark was the first one. They filmed it after Dynamite.
That's right. So you had Dark, and then you had Rampage, and then you have Collision. Like, it just got stretched too thin to again, where if you're trying to follow a story, you don't know where it's going to end up. You could say, okay, well, they had this piece on Dynamite, and then next week it's going to be on Rampage, and then they're going to be on Collision the next week. And it's just like, it's all over the place. And it's not like these shows aren't as ingrained in us as Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. Like everybody, you don't even have to be a wrestling fan anymore. Be like, oh yeah, Raw, that's 8, 9 o'clock on Mondays, and then SmackDown is at 8 o'clock on Friday nights, where, AEW is so new, the random person is going to be like, what's Collision? I've never heard of that. When do I watch that?
And also the NBA on Wednesday nights, that killed them on TBS. When basketball start back up, like, it feels like no matter what they do, it's always a missed opportunity. That's the best way to put it. Like when they got the TV rights for AEW on Wednesday nights, then they started having problems with Cody and the Young Bucks and the EVPs. After that, it was when Cody was getting ready to leave. and then all the fighting backstage and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like AEW since the creation of AEW when Dynamite has
Mm-hmm.
shot themselves in the foot every single time.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was a while there. 1 month of AEW shooting themselves in the foot, then it was WWE.
Yeah.
Like it was just so much controversy backstage.
And neither one of these companies are perfect by any means. They both have their
Oh God, no.
problems. Again, the CM Punk, Hangman,
Yeah,
Young Bucks, and then Jack Perry debacle.
yeah.
That was a whole thing. That if that doesn't happen, who knows what we're talking about in terms of the wrestling landscape right now? Because again, CM Punk was just this huge commodity that AEW was fortunate to be able to bring in when they did. They just could never get the full potential out of him because of all the all the backstage
Injuries
issues. But
and injuries.
and injuries that didn't help either. In fact, I saw earlier today that Triple H actually won Booker of the Year from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. So I'm sure that Tony Khan's going to be very upset about that. But it's funny when it comes to Tony Khan too, because I imagine that like on Dynamite next week that he's just going to have a whole bunch of random matches that again don't have any storyline built to them. They're just
Yeah,
happening for the sake of happening. Because like, hey, look, we're going to have, and I know injuries. This isn't specifically accurate, but hey, Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are going to have a fatal 4-way cage match for the number one contender for the AEW World Championship, just because, you know what I mean? Like something random like that, just because he's like, oh, well, I'll show you how good of a booker I am. Let me throw this together real quick.
I will say I'll give AEW this compliment here though. Next week is apparently Sting's last match.
Uh-huh.
So Big Bill and Ricky Starks dropped the World Tag Team titles to Sting and Darby,
Yep.
right? And the Young Bucks are facing Sting and Darby for the AEW World Tag Team Champions. So unless they do some switcheroos or whatever, you know the common tradition for a wrestler,
Sure.
their
Go ahead.
last match, you're going on your back, you know.
Yep.
So all this happened just. I think the main idea is to have FTR against the Young Bucks for a fourth. I think the fourth time now.
Right.
Like, but it makes no sense. Why would you have the Young Bucks turn heel to face Sting or his last match just to be a heel and be the World Tag Team Champions? Like, they came back, they had one match, and now they're number one contenders, even though FTR has literally been the tag team of AEW. I mean, I like Big Bill and Ricky Starks together. Big Bill is Big Cass, by the way.
Right.
I mean, and Ricky Starks is getting the shit in the stick of everything about AEW. Ricky Starks should be a TNT champion. He should every title except the world title, and they should turn him babyface and have him go up for the world title. Let him bulk up a little bit, give him some more. Let him be him, because that kid is going to be the like a mix between The Rock, Ric Flair. Like he has the wrestling kingdom for himself. Like give him an actual unit to be the leader of, like the undisputed what is it? The undisputed dynasty or some shit. I don't know the name of them. But Wardlow should have been the leader of that.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong for thinking Wardlow would thrive in WWE right now?
You put him in NXT. Like put him against what's his name? What's his sign? Braun Breaker, dude.
Yeah.
Put him in a triple threat match with Braun Breaker. What's that other guy's name? What's his name? Oh, he just challenged the world title. Oh, what's his name?
Trick Williams.
Trick Williams.
Yeah.
Put them three and maybe throw in Baron Corbin just to take the pin, just so it keeps everyone strong.
Right.
Wardlow would be a monster. I mean, just a monster. His mic skills last Wednesday, his promo last Wednesday was absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Like it made, like, I don't know where he went to learn mic skills, but he took every lesson he got. And it was just he got direct. It was down. It wasn't like it didn't say Wardlow's world either, which is another stupid thing to say. And then another thing about stupid about AEW, all the comedy shit. look, you can have. I'm not saying Evil Uno should be the world champion by no means, but you
Sure.
have tiers to it. You can't make a monster of a comedy act. That's like Samoa Joe going out there drinking some orange juice. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like Orange Cassidy makes perfect sense. You know, he's a wrestling bro. That's all he is. But when you have someone like Wardlow, when you have him saying Wardlow's world,
Yeah.
Elmo's fucking world. You know what I mean? It makes no sense.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, you're not wrong there. I do think that, and look, WWE has certainly been guilty of going overboard with the comedy at times. And God, the guest host era is something that's burned into my mind that we could spend an entire show talking about how stupid that was back in like 2009 and 2010. But I do think that they kind of understand, at least now, when too much is too much when it comes to comedy stuff and they can dial it back. But yeah, sometimes AEW just feels kind of random. Like, again, kind of some of the story stuff, there's like no rhyme or reason to it. It just kind of happens to happen, as if they're expecting you to laugh really hard when you were like, oh, that wasn't really all that funny.
Wasn't funny.
Yeah, it wasn't funny. I mean, when MJF and Chris Jericho did the duet thing, singing together for,
Perfect. Good entertainment.
yeah,
Entertainment.
again, that
They
was
can't
fun.
separate the entertainment. They can't
Right.
separate. It has to be a title joke.
And I'll say this: what Tony Storm is doing is timeless. Tony Storm right now
Perfect.
is incredible. Like, that is legitimately one of the best characters in all of wrestling right now. She understands who she is. She
Yep.
understands kind of where the character can go, and she's making the most out of it. And props to her.
It's the female broken Matt Hardy.
Yeah,
Like it's something that it's not super serious,
sure,
but you can actually see them being a world champion.
sure.
Like, I mean, if I could book AEW, this is exactly how I would do it. Exactly. I would break the Hardys up. First and foremost, break them up. I would have Jeff challenge for the TBS championship, not TBS, the TNT championship. I would have Edge not even touch Christian for at least a year and a half. I would have put Edge and Matt Hardy together as a tag team, had them actually do that with Andrew, what's his name? The guys Matt Hardy's apparently like aligned with.
Mm-hmm.
What's their damn name? I can't remember the name. Saved my life. So I think it's Team Flight or something. But take them, have them being trained under Edge and Matt Hardy, because then you have a backstory with Edge and Matt Hardy. It shows that, put two guys together trying to learn to be a tag team. Put them with Edge.
Are you talking about the Martin brothers?
No, the Martin brothers. The ones that they have a weird name. I forget their name, but like, I actually make a story out of the whole situation. Have Edge and Matt Hardy be tag team champions. I'm not saying for a long time, but for 2 months. Imagine the tag team wrestling out of Matt Hardy and Edge. Like,
yeah,
the backstory's there.
Well, yeah, and that kind of scratches the nostalgia bone for a lot of people too. So I see where you're going. Oh, it's the Firm. He's with the Firm.
The Firm was that MJF thing.
Well, it spun off to be the Hardy thing.
Oh, well, either way. But and then bring back who else in the Firm? What's his name? The Canadian guy, fantastic wrestler. He's doing Ring of Honor right now. He's trying for the Ring of Honor World Title. Austin Page, Adam Page, Page something. It's not Adam Page, not the Cowboy.
Hold on, let's see.
He was in TNA. He was Cedric not Alexander. There's so many names that are so exactly alike in professional wrestling, and it drives me insane. Alexander, the guy who won the TNA World Title, he was tag team with him back in he was a TNA.
Right.
It's Adam something.
Okay. Yeah, I can't remember.
It's gonna bug me. Hold on. Adam.
Well, that's the funny thing too, is like, and I get it. It's copyright and all that kind of stuff. Why guys can't go to AEW and be the same person they were in WWE, which is why we have Big Bill and why we have Adam Copeland instead of Edge and why Christian is Christian Cage instead of just Christian, all that kind of stuff. But it's funny because like we're obviously well aware of who that person is and what their former character was. And because of legal reasons, we can't actually call them that character anymore.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it's just a lot of it's just bullshit. Like it's just.
Well, remember when AEW started, Cody Rhodes didn't have the rights to his last name for a while.
Yep, he didn't have the Rhodes name.
He
Those
was
was the independents too, though. He was doing all those independent shows, and still wasn't Adam. It was Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, because well, I mean, his last name isn't actually Rhodes; it's Runnels. But it took him a while to actually. It's funny. He finally got the rights back to Rhodes, and then not long after that, went back to WWE.
Yeah, just
funny. It's funny how that works.
It's gonna bug me. Impact. There's I'm trying to find this thing up is that I'm going somewhere with it because he's in the firm. Adam Pierce. What's his name? It's gonna bug me now. Everyone in the firm. AEW. He was also in the it was him and Scorpio Sky.
Ethan Page.
Ethan Page.
Yeah, yeah.
I could not remember. He would be great in WWE as well.
Yeah, I didn't know who you were talking about, but yeah, you said Scorpio Sky. That was Ethan Page.
Ethan Page, man, deserves a lot more. He's got it. Like, I think he should be the Ring of Honor World Title Champion. Like,
yeah. Man, we've been rambling about this AEW WWE thing. I do want to quickly preview Elimination Chamber because it is like 8 hours away from now, just to kind of see how we think this is going to play out before it actually gets here.
So
what's that?
Look at the card right now.
Yeah, so as of right now, only 5 matches on the card. It looks like they have Kabuki Warriors versus LeRae and Indy Hartwell on the pre-show. So only 4 matches on the actual show. Look, the Kabuki Warriors are kind of tied into the storyline of obviously what's happening with Bayley, Neo, Sky at WrestleMania. I feel like this is going to be one of those things where like Bayley somehow cost the Kabuki Warriors their championship. That again kind of ties into everything going on with Neo Sky heading into WrestleMania.
But they're not dropping that title though.
What's that?
They're not going to drop that title. They're going to retain the title.
Yeah, maybe some like disqualification or something like that. I feel like this is going to be something screwy to again just kind of tie them into the championship storyline.
That's in the pre-show, right?
That is the pre-show.
You know, I think that they're going to retain. I agree with you. It's probably going to be a disqualification, but I don't see them making them lose clean at all.
What might be match of the night, Finn Balor, Damian Priest versus Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Like I said, that DIY Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate match the other night on SmackDown was incredible. That to me, that was a NXT quality match.
Don't you mean DX?
Yeah. Thanks, R-Truth, who is in Austria, by the way.
Dude, R-Truth deserves just give him a U.S. title run. Like, I mean, just something. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing R-Truth as a world champion. I'm not saying WWE champion,
sure,
but like let him win Money in the Bank. Let it just be a year of R-Truth shenanigans, and let him come. Let him accidentally win the world title.
Sure.
I mean, like, just give the man a chance.
I would not be opposed to that.
I mean, he's a former NWA world champion.
Yeah. Well, God, he was in WWE in the Attitude Era.
Yeah. It's crazy. I forgot I didn't know the R-Truth Killings was R-Truth. Because I watched TNA. I loved TNA. Mm-hmm. One day we're gonna podcast about TNA wrestling. I mean, like as a young Southern boy watching TNA, like it was just amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. But the Judgment Day minus R-Truth is taking
Yeah.
on what is now called what's their new name? It is now New Catch Republic. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. I don't know how to feel about that name, but regardless, this should be a good match.
Why do they call it the Independence Day of the mustache? What was it?
So Tyler Bate and Trent Seven was Mustache Mountain.
Mm.
And then, so the three of them together was British Strong Style.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
But for whatever reason, they're New Catch Republic now. Besides the name, this should be a really good match if WWE gives this proper time.
Look, I'm just gonna let them call him Butch anymore. Okay, I'm taking
I'm very happy about that as well.
But I'm saying that I think that Drew will retain. I think that Damian Priest will retain. I think that it's gonna be they're gonna take those world titles to the main to. I'm gonna say it's probably disqualification again, or maybe a roll up or some R-Truth shenanigans or something. But I do believe that they're not losing those tag team titles till WrestleMania.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Again, I really don't care who wins this one. I think Judgment Day probably does win, but I just want a good quality match again because these are four very capable guys in the ring, and I think if you give them 15 minutes, they can put on a banger.
100%, but it's going to go at least 35, at least 4 for the
Uh,
second match.
I don't know if it's going to go that long.
I'll tell you this right now. I'm saying the pre well, you're probably right. Yeah, probably 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. After I looked at the setup for the night, yeah, it's probably just a 15, 20-minute match. Now, next we have the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Who do you think's going to pull that one out? And we both will say it at the same time.
Yeah, so let's see here. Women's Chamber match: Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Raquel Rodriguez. To winner is going to face. Let's be honest here. Rhea Ripley ain't losing the title tomorrow. Winner faces Rhea Ripley.
But are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
1, 2, 3. Becky Lynch. You know what we should do? You know what we should honestly do? We can't agree on every single one of these, so I'm going to be the protagonist here. I'm going to stick with Becky Lynch on this one because I wish we even on this. But let's have a tally. And the loser of the tally has just the next week on the podcast that we don't want to do. The other person's choice.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so we both think Becky Lynch is going to win. What's going to be really funny, and I know she's rehabbing right now, when in 2 weeks, Charlotte Flair gets inserted and makes it a triple threat at WrestleMania.
There's no way.
Look, there is no way, but like the hilarity of doing that again. Look, let's be honest here. That women's main event at WrestleMania 35 didn't need to be a triple threat. Ronda versus Becky was enough of a sell, and they were just like, "Hey, Charlotte's going to be in it too," and we're all just like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I agree, but okay, this is how I think this would be. How I honestly would book it would be either. I really think it'd be Bianca. Like if we're going to do a triple threat match, but Becky is just so over. But in all reality, the best main event to have that would be Bianca and Rhea.
Bear with me on this. It comes down to Becky and Bianca at the end. Yep. It's those two left. Everybody else has been eliminated. Yep. We do either the double back pinfall or the somehow get them to both tap out at the same time, or somebody taps, but the other person isn't seen by the referee tapping. So Becky gets declared the winner or Bianca gets declared the winner, but the next week on Raw or whatever, it's like, hey, no, we actually tied, and then we make it a triple threat. You have to get creative if you're going to do something like that. But I agree with you. A Rhea, Becky, Bianca triple threat at WrestleMania, shut up and take my money.
Yeah, 100%. Bianca talent alone, when she faced Sasha Banks 2 years ago with that Women's World Championship, I didn't really get the whole hair thing. And then I watched her use her hair for one match in the long, the thing was this long on her back.
It's literally like a bull rope.
It's a weapon. She should have been disqualified. But just insane. And she's so strong too. She is. She's like a China mixed with a what was that girl's name on TNA? Tiffany, I think her name was. Just a beast, just a total beast.
She's the EST man.
And then next we have Rhea against Nia for the Women's World Title. Again.
Okay. Okay. We both know Rhea's going to win this one.
100%.
How long does this match take? That's the question.
25 minutes.
25 minutes?
25 minutes.
You want to see Nia Jax wrestle for 25 minutes?
I don't want to see Nia Jax for 20 minutes. I'm just saying they're in Australia. They're in her home country.
Mm.
They're gonna give her a good match.
I want to see Rhea Ripley rip her head off in like 6 minutes.
Not gonna happen.
I think she just
not
needs
Goldberg,
to dominate her the entire time. Make her as strong as possible going into WrestleMania.
It's not gonna make any sense though. I mean, for the last 4 weeks in a row, Nia has just destroyed her. I mean, as you said, she put Mommy on top, but she's not on top of Mommy.
But that's the thing. Nia has gotten the better of her in the lead up to it. Make Rhea Ripley look like the badass and just throw her all around for like 8 minutes.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think it's a great idea. I'd rather see Rhea just destroy her in 5 minutes and have longer Elimination Chamber match. But I'm telling you, it's going to be a 25-minute to 20-minute match. It's going to come down to a riptide. It's going to be either a near fall. She's going to kick out of the riptide. It's going to happen. It's going to take 2 riptides and a lot of cheering. But we both know Rhea's going to win this match, though. There's no way they're putting the bet on Nia.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Yeah,
that's just this is being stupid.
Well,
now, if it was Vince, it'd be Rhea be Nia be going to it and be a rematch WrestleMania and adding the third opportunist.
Sure.
But in the last match of the night, which I know who's going to win this match, and I know who I want to win the match.
Okay.
But we both know who's going to win this match. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Drew McIntyre.
I want Randy to win this match. So I actually want Eli Drake to win this match.
You mean LA Knight? Yeah.
No, Eli Drake.
LA Knight. Yeah. You gotta do that.
Dummy.
Yeah. No,
He's better.
Look, Drew has been involved in this weird, like Cody, Seth, Roman, like triangle, square kind of thing. So it's pretty much on the nose that he's going to win this match. And look, I think a Drew Seth, assuming Seth's at full health when WrestleMania comes around, I think that match would be amazing. I think that's great. But I part of me is like, how cool would it be to see Randy Orton in another championship match?
100%, dude. I mean, but this is how things going to happen, right? Because Seth isn't 100% yet.
Right.
I'm calling this right now. Night 2, Drew, Seth, middle of the match. No one's down for good. Damien's cashing in. They will lose the World Tag Team Championship at WrestleMania, and he will cash that briefcase in that night. And Drew's gonna be upset about it too. But I think Drew's gonna win the belt at Backlash or later down the road. But Drew doesn't need this win. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Damian Priest needs his win.
I think it was huge that they gave Drew a legitimate win over Cody Rhodes on Monday night. That's big.
But it wasn't a legitimate win. It was through shenanigans with the bloodline, and he's the first one to pin him, but now his whole idealism was like that the bloodline screwed Drew McIntyre over every chance they got.
Right.
That's just what it was. But now you have it where Drew is turning heel. He's been in between it for a while, but it makes no sense for the story because now Drew's just taking the easy way, which he's complained about in Superstars in the last 3 years he's doing it. Right. But I get the heel turn. Have you seen his social media too? By the way,
I have.
He's doing promos and just walking down the road. Like, I don't understand the final place for Drew McIntyre at this point. The Scottish Cyborg, the Irish, the Scottish ass kicker, and now he's just turning into Drew McIntyre 2007, the chosen one. Except now he can, he's 275 pounds pure, just kick ass.
Right. But I agree, and I think something along the lines of, Damian Priest cashing in at WrestleMania would make a lot of sense because then you can extend this crazy Drew on a Warpath thing out a little bit further before he eventually takes the title from him. Because look, and I like Damian Priest. I don't know if he has like guy that holds the world title for a period of time written on him right now.
When he was in NXT and he won the North American Championship, Damian Priest, I think that, okay, I have two ideas for this. Two ideas. The first idea is Damian Priest cashing in at WrestleMania and doing a three-way match at WrestleMania. My second idea is Damian Priest cashes in Backlash in Puerto Rico.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Like, let Drew beat Seth 1, 2, 3 in the ring. The rematch comes at Backlash, and then Damian cashes in. Like,
it's possible.
That's just the only two things I can think about. Like if you're going through long-term storybook telling, Puerto Rico would be the best place for him to cash it in because that's where he won the World Tag Team Championships with Finn Balor.
Right.
I don't see the long term for Damian. I don't see it. Unless you go to Puerto Rico. That's the only place you can go. And have him going as the champion would probably be better. But the pop he'd have to just win the title in Puerto Rico would be astronomical.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think that's because what? Yeah, I think the rule is still you have a full year to cash in, right?
You have 1 year. He has 3 months left. 3 months.
Yeah, roughly 3 months. So, and usually, I mean, guys, they don't usually hold it for this long. So this is a unique thing that we haven't seen in a while. Yeah, I mean, you got to do something sometime soon. And I would imagine if he's held it this long, they're not going to just let him lose when he cashes in. So he's going to hold the title for a period of time. But I think he because here's the thing, Seth Rollins has done a really good job with the World Heavyweight Championship. And he's held up for almost a freaking year now since they brought it back. I think the cash in is a good way to, and again, he may not be at 100% healthy, may need some time to go out and like legitimately get healthy and come back later on down the road. I think that's a way to remove him for a period of time without making him look weak too.
The thing is, they have him working double duty in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And he's already hurt.
Yeah.
That's why in my head, having him cash in at WrestleMania would make more sense for Seth. But
yeah,
I don't see Seth Rollins is by far the best champion in WWE right now. Except, but I hate saying this, but besides Gunther, like the Women's World Championship, take away Rhea, Gunther, and Seth. Logan Paul's he's doing great work.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not really making the championship. He's just kind of riding the championship coattails.
Well, when it comes to Logan Paul, everything that he does as champion, the championship seems very secondary.
Exactly. Yep.
Like, yes, Kevin Owens wants to take the championship from him, but there seems to be like, and look, we talk about WWE is pushing the story, obviously, but like the championship doesn't seem important in their rivalry. And look, they're both in the Elimination Chamber, so there's gonna be some kind of shenanigans between those two that's gonna lead to them facing off in like an Extreme Rules match at WrestleMania or something to that effect, which I'm fine with. But again, I feel like the title really takes a back seat with him.
I don't understand why Gunther's not defending his title at Elimination Chamber.
That's a good question. I mean, at this point in time, because look, he's literally beaten everybody.
Give it a squash. I'm saying, but like for the show purposes, right?
Maybe
squash match. Give him the Viking warrior, the Viking the Viking guy, right?
Viking Raiders, yep.
Give him. Give him a 5-minute match. Let him destroy him in 4.5 minutes. And then just let him go into WrestleMania strong. Because his last match against Jey Uso, which was Monday night, which Jey, he barely beat Jey.
Right.
So now Gunther looks weak. Give him the championship match at Elimination Chamber. Let him go in there, squash somebody out. Let him look strong again. Put him against a big meaty man, like the Australian guy from NXT. Put him against him. Give him 15 minutes.
Let him destroy Grayson Waller.
No, Grayson Waller. No, the big guy.
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed.
Well, I mean, he's on Raw now, but yeah.
Exactly. But I'm just saying, like, that way you have an Australian native going to the Elimination Chamber match. They're seeing somebody from their home country and let him be the heel that he is and let him just beat the tar out of him.
Yeah, I don't
like because then that makes him a bigger heel. It gives him more motivation going towards WrestleMania. And then when because Jay's going to face Jimmy at WrestleMania.
That seems to be the thought.
Like, and then put what's his name, Chad Gable against Gunther at WrestleMania. Because I mean, right now there's no storytelling going to the Intercontinental Championship,
right?
Which is just disgraceful. Because if you think about it, it really honestly should be Jey Uso against Gunther for the world title,
right?
Or bring Sheamus back. Have a month storytelling for that, because then Sheamus becomes a grand champion,
right?
You know.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree, and it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing. We're creeping up on an hour here now, so I feel like we need to kind of put a bow on this thing. We've been going for a while.
We did miss a week, though. It did miss a week.
Yeah, it has been. But I don't know. I'm excited about Elimination Chamber. As much as I don't like the changes they've made to the Chamber, these matches usually end up being pretty fun.
Yeah.
So
I guess just watching Drew going to be in that interlude. I think he's going to be probably the third person in the match.
Maybe he just runs through and wrecks everyone, and that's it.
But that makes him look strong. I mean, that gives him the. I don't know. I think Logan Paul will have a great showing in the Chamber.
Logan Paul's going to do something crazy. That's just kind of become his thing. Like, all right, what's a ridiculous move that we can teach Logan Paul to do before this pay-per-view?
Can you imagine as a 450 off the top of the cell?
Look, he's athletic enough. I wouldn't put it past him.
I don't know, man. What happened to Ricochet? Where's he at?
It's a good question. I haven't seen him in a while.
He's not injured. That's the only thing they throwing the.
I'm calling it now. Logan Paul Spanish fly to Kevin Owens off the top of one of the pods.
I'm gonna say shooting star.
Okay, that works too.
Just because that little added little bullshit you can do.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
All right.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, and we'll be another week closer to WrestleMania next week, and talk about the fallout from Chamber.
So just so we know for a fact here, we're saying that the Kabuki Warriors retain.
Yes, through some kind of screwy
shenanigans.
Weird shenanigans.
We didn't even talk about the Grayson Waller effect. That whole interview process is going to be happening with that. But anyways, we'll get to that next week.
Yeah.
So just for the title here, we're going to say Kabuki Warriors retain. We're going to say that the Judgment Day retains.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to say that Becky Lynch wins Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
We're going to say that Drew McIntyre wins Elimination Chamber. He wins. Rhea retains. And that's it.
Boom. Well, we have like 6 hours to find out if these predictions are true or not.
Well, I'll call you to keep wake you up in the morning, you know.
I'll be watching this on delay, I promise.
All right. Well, this has been The Experience. He's TH. I'm TC. See y'all next week.